90% of the departments of whatever. Just lock them up. You know, states' rights. Did you know that a governor can declare war? Governor can declare war. Okay? And we're gonna probably see that.
That is Michael Flynn, who was the national security advisor to the former president, Donald Trump, which is very crazy when you think about it. It's crazy even if you don't think about it, but spare a little bit of thought, because he could be in our government again following 2024. We know that Trump feels a lot of loyalty for this guy who has spent the past couple of years, after all of his legal troubles that he brought onto himself, just routinely threatening mass violence. And there you have him not only saying that states can declare war, but that they soon will declare war, presumably on other states. Now, to be very clear, he's like 90% wrong there. According to the Constitution, no state shall blah, 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 a bunch of stuff, engage in war unless actually invaded or in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. So that's, I guess, the facts. I don't think that's going to stop him or his ideological allies. But Caroline, what exactly would be the justification for one state to invade another state? I know we're gonna have to put ourselves mentally into the mind of Michael Flynn, but what do you think he's getting at there?
I have no idea. All that I can think is that, I don't know, there's like this tendency, in politics, just in general, it's sort of widely known historically that if you have no policies to run on, no material interests for your people, like you just need to sow discord and basically like start a war, kind of. And like I think that people like Michael Flynn, who have absolutely no interest, let's be clear, in helping the American people in any way, even like Republicans who love him, like they have no interest in delivering for these people on policy. All they can think of is in terms of violence. And we see it in these videos that keep emerging. And it really just is this escalating cycle of getting closer and closer to these people's like dreams of going to war. It's very weird, again, talking about the J.R. Majewski, the rapper MAGA Congress member, who is like obsessed with this idea of war and this idea of the Air Force and the military, but completely not understanding how many people are involved in the armed forces and how many of them will never see glory. They will see murder or they will see like logistics. So it's a profound misunderstanding of the material lives of most Americans. But I think it's really what these people, it's the only strategy in their tool belt to get support, is just whipping people into a frenzy and scaring them, frankly.
Yeah, 100%. And you're right, they are obsessed. They're obsessed with this mythical concept of war, as they are obsessed with many mythical things that never actually existed. And to the extent that they existed, they sucked even at that point. But they're also obsessed with some justification, any justification. Give me a justification to start killing people that disagree with me. And so what would be the cause of this war? I don't know. I don't think he knows. But what he knows and what his audience knows is, so we can kill the libs. At that point, that would be the justification to start killing the libs. And that's why they obsess over it. And I want to be clear about one thing, because there is a danger, I think. Like, we have an ethical duty to let you know that people in the Trump orbit are threatening civil war, not metaphorically, not hinting, saying states are going to invade states. Because then it might make you think, oh, so there's this dangerous potential thing, an actual civil war, or an actual overthrow of the government, or with QAnon, the actual storm happening. So let's not let that happen. And I agree, we can't let that happen. But let's also not fall into the trap of thinking that we've only failed and they've only succeeded if that crazy line is crossed. Michael Flynn doesn't talk about this war only because he wants this war, in the same way that the people leading the QAnon thing don't talk about the storm because they actually think it's going to happen. When you get people to process and think about politics in these terms, you can win without ever accomplishing your stated goal. You don't necessarily need a full-on successful coup or a full-on successful civil war to have accomplished your actual goals, which are break down the ability of the American people to think rationally about politics, to choose leaders that have their interests at heart, to see those who disagree with them as people they disagree with rather than satanic pedophiles that deserve to be put to the sword. And even if we never get to that war, even if the great storm never comes, look at how much damage has been done to our ability to exist as a body politic, to talk to one another. Look at how many voter suppression laws have already been passed. How many people have been hounded at student board meetings and things like that. They are succeeding in their mission, even if the craziest part of it never actually comes to pass. So let's be aware not only of the scariest part of this, but the full breadth of the war that's being waged on us. Any other thoughts?
No, that was an incredible, analysis. And I think just quickly, I think wrapping up, like we will see this in our next segment about this division in society that starts from the top and goes all the way down when we talk about even things like natural disasters that should have be largely moments for Americans to come together in a sense of unity and trying to protect each other and care about each other and with mutual aid and things like that. But we can see this discourse starts from this, very bombastic talking about war and invasions and civil strife. And it completely plays down into things that should absolutely have bipartisan support on, like things like dealing with natural disasters and climate change and et cetera. And we will get into all of that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.